So that's what Billy shared on Twitter. $1 million Pixar short made with AI in a week. Some of you loved it, but let's be honest, a lot of you hated it. Generative AI is moving fast, really fast, but it's no secret that machine learning has had a learning curve of its own.
Oh, that's hot.
At Wistia, we've been experimenting with generative AI for years now, expanding horizontal footage into vertical, voice synthesis, transcription-based editing, and only a few short years ago, this was considered state-of-the-art. Hey there. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious apple pie. Humans have spent hundreds of thousands of years evolving instincts to spot when something feels off. It's not a conscious thing. We just know when something isn't quite right. The tools have evolved a lot since then, and the latest Sora and VO models are getting really close to crossing the uncanny valley, but they haven't quite cracked humans yet. But what about animation? Animation doesn't really have an uncanny valley. We already know it's not real, so our brains stop scanning for flaws and start focusing on the story. Now, I'm more of a traditional video producer, so I don't really know the first thing about animation, but my friend Billy Woodward sure does. Billy's a super talented motion artist, creative technologist, and just one of the smartest people I know when it comes to the bleeding edge of using artificial intelligence in video. He's a 20-year industry veteran, and he's spent years pushing the limits of all these tools and somehow manages to make them all feel cinematic.
The sequence you're about to watch is a scripted FaceTime reenactment designed to move the story forward.
Yo, talk to me.
With these recent updates, I think the tools are ready.
Are you sure? How are you sure?
Well, between Midjourney and Nano Banana, we can now keep consistency with characters and environments. And that's not even to mention that with Nano Banana, we now have unprecedented control of the camera in the scenes. Dude, I think we could create something pretty special here.
If Billy says AI is ready for animation prime time, I gotta believe him. So here's the experiment. We're gonna push the latest AI models as far as we can go to see if we can make an animated short that's Pixar quality, but fast, cheap, and it's gotta be emotional. Can AI really be the game changer that we think it is, putting all of this creative horsepower into everyone's hands? All right, what story could we use to actually prove if AI animation can make you feel something? I just keep coming back to this. Lenny's Big Delivery, circa 2012. No dialogue, just a simple and cute storyline about a dog on a mission to deliver a VHS tape. On a personal note, Lenny's almost 15 years old. He's not the leading man he once was, which is the perfect reason to use AI to bring his story back to life. That way there we don't have to make an old dog do any new tricks.
That's a good point.
So that's the plan. We're gonna use the old Lenny video from 2012 as our blueprint, reimagined as a brand new AI-generated animated video.
We're breaking the work into 4 buckets. It starts with dreaming up the Pixar version of Lenny and the other characters. Then we move on to world building, streets, parks, storefronts, office interiors. Once we have our worlds and characters, it's time to bring them to life in motion. And then, after a few human touches, we'll cut it all together with some AI-generated music and sound design.
Billy's first step is character development, and for that, he'll be heading into Midjourney and start prompting. Lots and lots of prompting. Now, he's not just typing in Pixar red dog and calling it a day. No. He's refining, experimenting, and tweaking until the image in his head finally comes to life. So let's watch him cook.
Building out characters is a terribly fun process. Using references and prompt tokens, we can begin to experiment and chase down the aesthetics that we like best. We're getting a lot of good-looking Lennys, but still too close to the real thing. Adding animation-style tokens will push it further into that space. Let's go ahead and compare 2 different prompts of our good boy Lenny. It can take dozens of generations paired with plenty of pivots and prompt push to get your character designs correct. This is especially true when basing it off of real-world reference. So the more tokens you use, the more direction you give, the more you envision the final image, the better your results. And quick tip, if you find a generation that you like but it's still not quite right, toss it into your style reference within Midjourney. It will guide the generations further toward that style. There he is. That's our Lenny.
After hundreds of prompts, Billy finally had it, the perfect Lenny. But here's the problem. One great frame doesn't make a film. This is where character consistency comes into play. How do you keep that same amazing Lenny across dozens of shots with different angles and different lighting and different environments? Character consistency has been one of the biggest challenges in AI video, but Billy figured out a trick with some of the latest tools. Here's where the real magic happens.
Now that we've locked our Lenny, we're hopping into Nano Banana and Seedream to generate a full 360-degree character sheet. Basically, we're imagining what he looks like from every possible angle. This is a big deal. It's what people have been waiting for. For the first time, we can keep a single character looking consistent across multiple generations in different settings with different camera moves.
That is massive. This is what unlocks real storytelling that actually makes sense from shot to shot. So now we've got our main character, it's time to drop him into the world.
Now, generating places has actually been good for a while. It's a lot like real-life location scouting. Based on the rough idea that we had in our head, we knew we needed Boston streets, a sausage shop, a park, a fountain, and our final office setting. Using the same prompt sculpting approach, I was able to get a bunch of location options. And when I wanted something really specific, I used Google Street View screenshots as reference images inside of Midjourney. But here's where it gets wild. Just like the character sheet, using that same reference-based workflow, I can get consistency across every shot. So I don't just have a storefront in Boston, I have the wide shot, the medium, the close-up, all matching in tone, structure, and lighting. And that's what makes it feel cinematic. That's what makes it feel real.
Okay, we have our character, we've built our world, now let's make it move.
All right, now that we've got our character and world locked, it's time to bring them to life in motion. AI video models, they run on start and end frames. You're basically giving it point A and point B, and then letting the AI figure out what happens in between. So I'll create those key poses using our established characters and environments. This is where you've got to put on your cinematographer hat. Think about the angle, the lens, the movement, and the emotion that you want from the shot. This is not linear filmmaking anymore. With tools like Nano Banana and Seedream, I can drop Lenny into any scene, pick my camera position, and direct the shot like I'm on set. If I need even more precision, I'll stitch together multiple image generations in Photoshop to nail framing and continuity. Now it's time to direct. I'll upload the start frame, describe the motion, what's happening, how it feels, how the camera reacts. The more precise the prompt, the less the model hallucinates. Now here's an example. Lenny's chasing a tennis ball. Should be simple enough. But look what happens when you don't give the model enough direction. Our VHS tape is, doing something, but it's definitely not falling naturally. Let's tweak the prompt. Add clear transitions, some real-world physics, and a little emotion. Now we get that perfect moment. The tape falls, Lenny locks in, and he takes off after the ball with that Pixar-style charm. Much, much better.
We brought all of the video generations and dropped them into Adobe Premiere. And that's where we started cutting and thinking about pacing, rhythm, story flow, kind of the same way we would with any live action project. Over in Suno, we used this prompt for the music. Clarinet, French, upbeat, quirky jazz, cute, family film about a dog. Nailed it. In ElevenLabs, I can prompt some sound effects and soundscapes and lay that into the edit. Here's a surprisingly, what is the word I'm looking for? Specific. Here's a surprisingly specific sound effect of a VHS hitting the ground. Not bad. And a few passes in After Effects can really help sell the effects and fix some of the artifacts from the generations. Billy and I loved where the video ended up, so we were excited to share it around Wistia.
I'm actually like nervous to show you this.
I'm a little
giddy about it.
That was crazy. I started tearing up like instantly. That was nuts. If I didn't know what the premise of this was, never would in a million years would I have thought that you two idiots made this thing.
It's really good. It's like a Pixar short.
Wow. That's insane.
Everyone's gonna love that. It's so adorable.
But what we couldn't stop talking about was how fast everything came together. And we've done this for long enough that we know what a project like this should cost traditionally. 3D animation, dozens of scenes with multiple characters, lighting, compositing, world building. You're looking at easily a multi-million-dollar production. But we made ours in 8 days for basically free. So that's what Billy shared on Twitter. $1 million Pixar short made with AI in a week. And shocker, the internet had opinions. Millions of views, thousands of reactions, and comments. Some of you loved it, but let's be honest, a lot of you hated it. And there's probably a lot of people that just didn't know how to feel. But that's what's so strange about the moment that we're in right now. It's a cartoon dog chasing squirrels with a VHS tape. It should be harmless, delightful, heartwarming even, but because it's AI, it hits a nerve. And that's really the point. Conversations like this bring out every kind of feeling: excitement, doubt, fear, curiosity, and they're all valid reactions. Artificial intelligence is changing everything, and for film and video, it's lowering the barrier between imagination and the screen. Now, we know this isn't an Oscar-winning Pixar short. That's not the point. The point is how far the tools have already come and how much further they're gonna go in another year or two. It's not about replacing creativity, it's about expanding it. The human direction still matters. Taste still matters. That's what makes it all feel real. I think a lot of the hate actually comes from people who haven't really tried the tools for themselves. If you ever try one of these tools, it's certainly not a type a prompt and hit enter kind of thing. You're crafting, you're editing, you're guiding, you're looking up new prompts, you're trying stuff, you're throwing it out, you're trying it again and again until it feels just right. And that's the thing about experiments like this here at Wistia. We're not doing it for praise or for outrage, but instead we're trying to learn how AI can actually help people make better videos. A lot of people just loved it. They didn't care how it was made. They saw a story, they felt something, and that was enough. So did it work? Did AI make you feel something? Drop a comment and let us know.
You're a good boy. You get a good treat. There you go.